You are here at jaysface.com, and I'm Jay, and you're getting ready to watch Let's Create Art with L M Coz.
Hello, hi, this is L M Coz, and I'm back with you at Let's Create Art with L M Coz. I've been away for a while, but I've been working on some pieces, dropping off some things at galleries, and having shows. Today, I want to talk to you guys about fine detailing on a painting where it's almost done, you don't want to overwork it, so I have a couple of tricks that I want to show you guys on how to get things finished instead of getting it started. All right, hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so what I just did was did some details on my outer leaves on my tree collage that I have on a two-piece painting, as you will see. First, I started off with a dark color, then a light color, then I toned it down with a neutral color, which is the turquoise. It's an opaque painting where the less you use, the more transparent it'll be. I like to use this on top of dark greens, light pinks, because it gives it more contrast. What you see me doing right here, I'm not creating any more leaves. I'm just enhancing what I have. It gives you an illusion that you have a ton of leaves on a tree, but in reality, you just have like 7, 8 layers of paint on top of one leaf, and like it's folding out. It almost reminds me of like a magnolia flower. And you never want to go over the same thing twice until it dries. When I started painting this painting, it was absolutely dry. It probably been dry for like the last 2 weeks. It's the last time I touched it. So to make sure it's absolutely dry before you put another layer on, or you will smear it and it will be overworked. The next color I use is an auburn brown. You can see that. This is a very opaque color as well. I use this just to highlight in between the leaves to give it a little more depth. As you see, I used a palette. I got some paper, so you don't have to run out to get a palette, kids, if you don't have money. Just find something around the house, cardboard, paper plate, even a napkin if you have to. Something old you can reuse to get a palette, so don't think you have to be fancy about a palette. The next and probably final step I will emphasize on is how to use black when you're doing fine detail. When you're doing a landscape, most artists will tell you, you don't want to use black. Use a Mars black, that's like, or ivory black, that's a black with a tint of gray or a tint of white. I tend to use black, but I mix other colors in with the black. So if I want to highlight this this flower I have right here with the black, the purples, the browns, I would mix black with a touch of burgundy or a touch of magenta with a little green. Very dark color, but it's not black, because it will mess up your painting. Unless you're using it as an exact outline, I would not recommend you use straight black on any landscape painting. We know it's not realistic because it is a form of abstract, my type of painting, but you still want it to look recognizable. You want it to say, oh, that's a flower or that's a tree. So now you can look at my palette now with the black, the magenta and green mix. See, it's a dark earthy bluish color, but it's not black, I repeat. So I'm going to use this to highlight over the vines, over my flowers over here, to pull them together. I'm softly stroking on the painting. I'm not just pressing down, so it's easier to blend it in with the stem of the painting. So now I have green stems over here, so I'll use a little bit more green and black, but never just all black. If you see the painting, yeah, I do have a line here, like a hook line with birds on a black line, but that's supposed to be that way. It's like a shadow. So watch how I use this custom color and just kind of pull this in with the stem of the flower. Totally pop out. Yes, you're going to have to put your brush back in the water at times, but it's not that important to wash off all the color because you want those colors. I'm going to come back to this one. Now you can tell from when I first started, you can see more of the head, the bud of the flower, and you can see how the stem is highlighted a bit. And that's what you want to do on this piece. You don't want to overwork the piece. That's the whole objective of me reaching out to you kids. You don't want to overwork your painting. Be confident in what you do. If you see perspective, if you know what you see, others will see that and see other things as well. This painting is just about done. But that was the whole point of me showing you guys. Just to show you how to just highlight what you've done and know when it's done. That's a big thing, because a lot of artists that's been making art for 20 years, they'll do a painting and throw it out because they say, oh, I overworked this, done, or I don't know what else to do to it, and put it to the side. I even have maybe 20, 30 paintings just sitting to the side somewhere, and I don't touch them anymore because I'm not ready to get back to them. But know if you underworked it or overworked it, but know all art is still valuable. You just have to know when to get to it and what you need for it. It's all about the feel of your piece. Some ideas you can get from doing landscaping is look around in the area that you're in. Think about the colors that you like to wear. You know, the colors that you like to see when you see, you know, trees or flowers. That's if you're into landscape. If you like seascapes and you like water, aquatic waters, you like warm waters, you know, go for the turquoise type of purplish, magenta colors. But always know when you highlight, never use black or never just use a titanium white. Absolute no-no. The only time I will tell you guys to use titanium white is if you're using that as a background before you want to paint over something else. So let's say I have a purple sky here. I do have titanium white, but we're going to go over that. I put the titanium white on top of the purple because if you put an opaque color over it, it'll look transparent. You won't see through, and you have to put tons of colors over top. You don't want to do that. What you want to do is let that dry, and then you go over the color you want, and it will pop out. It enhance the color, so you don't have to keep going over it and over and over it. When you see me go over this with my brownish auburn mixture, you'll see what I mean. Matter of fact, I'll do it now. Don't be alarmed if you see me painting on top of another leaf. I use a varnish called polyurethane. You can find it at any hardware store, Menards, Lowe's. You can get a 16-ounce can for probably like $8. It lasts way longer than a spray varnish, and it's more durable. And the trick that I learned, as I said, I had some secret tricks for you guys. I wanted to throw them out there. I put one layer of polyurethane on top of my first layer of painting, and I let that dry. Then I go back to it and paint on top of the polyurethane if you're using acrylic. It doesn't work for oil paints. This is strictly for acrylic mediums and spray paint mediums. You want to make sure you have a good layer of it on there because it shines and it enhances it, and it makes it look almost like a really cool 2D. I don't want to say 3D because we all know this is not 3D art. This is 2D. But it makes it like a really good 2D art, let's just say that. And then when you have clients, you can tell your clients, yeah, your painting will last 20 years or so from now, long as no one puncture it or physically try to damage your painting. You can splash on the polyurethane and waterproof. It's some of the best stuff I've found to work for me on my paintings. My clients are happy with the results once I show them the new version of my paintings. And you're going to always come up with your own ideas as you paint throughout the years. I can give you these ideas, but you're going to find things on your own as you explore. Like, no one told me about polyurethane. Just so happened I seen a wood piece at an art gallery, and I said, what kind of varnish do you have? And he didn't tell me. Didn't tell me at all. And just so happened I went to, I think, a Menards, and I seen a fence up, and it was really shiny. I said, what is that stuff? What is that on this wood? And he said, polyurethane. And I said, will it cover an acrylic paint? And he said, it'll cover all paints except for oil paints. So I said, I'm going to mess with that. So I brought a small sample one, put it over a painting, and I was blown away. It makes it look like glass. So that's one of my secrets why my clients like my paintings now, because I invest and I make sure it's durable and it lasts for years to come. If you guys can see, it looks like I'm putting a wash on top of the white right here, the titanium white. And actually it is, because I have more water than paint on there. And that's to dilute it, to make it more consistent, where I could just smear it right on top of the white. And if I mess up, you can always use small tissue, wet, damp, I should say. And you can always go back, because the polyurethane seals in the last layer of color. So it's okay to make mistakes. It's always okay to make mistakes, but when you can fix your mistakes, it's even better. Yeah, it looks like a wash is on there. Like I said, a little color gets on one of your leaves, it's fine, because you're going to always have to do another layer anyway. So don't mind me. Do what you feel. You do what you see fit for your painting. And if you feel the vibe is going well, you keep going. If you don't like what you're doing, you should stop and walk away from it, put it up on a wall or something, and basically keep looking at it until it calls back out to you. I put paintings on the wall all the time, and I'll stop, I'll look, I'll stop, I'll look, and it doesn't say anything. And then one day I walk past, probably with a donut in my hand and coffee, and I say, you know what, hold on, I think I want to put some water back there or something. So let your painting talk to you. You don't rush the painting. That's the whole point of me showing you how to finalize this. There's no rush. I'm very relaxed and calm. And you let it come to you. This is a natural process that you're seeing me go through, a creative process. But your mind has to be clear and focused on this, but not too focused, if you know what I mean. Stay on task, but be creative at the same time. Don't feel like it's a rush. When people buy art, another tip, when people buy art, let them know it's an emotional value. It's not because they need it. They get it because they like it. It rings out to them. So if you take your time and you invest your time and your hours and your creativity, someone will appreciate your value. And don't worry about who doesn't buy, because the right person is going to come across and see what you do and be fascinated. And then you remember these slow techniques and tricks that you hear, and you'll say, okay, this is why I'm moving to the next level. If you rush and if you're messing around with all these different mediums, nothing's working for you, try the polyurethane. I've tried acrylic glaze. I've tried a spray varnish. I've tried all type of varnishes, and honestly, I can say this is the one that's most valuable, and it's more effective. Actually, it sounds crazy. I actually set one outside overnight while it was raining, just to see if it shriveled up or if it got damaged, and it didn't. So you have my guarantee. Polyurethane works great with acrylics. You can't go wrong. If you're going to art school, your art teacher might tell you, whoever told you that might sound crazy, but they also will tell you all artists venture out on their own and find their own techniques. I was taught that if you do anything for 10 years and you do it well, you've mastered that craft. I've been doing this for 7.5 years. No one's taught me how to do it, but I've taught myself my own strokes and my own techniques. So in 3.5 years, I can truly teach one how to create beautiful art without spending a ton of money and helping out their community and passing that down to someone else. My biggest goal is to show young people in the city of Detroit that it's okay to express yourselves through paint and through art and creativity, and know that this is an outlet. You don't have to be on Instagram, Twitter, all that crazy stuff all the time, take pictures of whatever. Take pictures of something that you created from you. It doesn't have to be your body or your new haircut, whatever, your new gym shoes. Make something from yourself, expressing yourself, and then someone else can see it, and then they can say, wow, okay, you did that from your time, not taking all day to put your makeup on or whatever and thinking that's the place to go, kids. It's not. Let's pick up a paintbrush and really express yourselves. You might influence your brother or sister to want to do something creative. I have 3 kids. All my kids paint. They don't have video games. Nothing personal to you guys that do out there, but I think it's better when they don't have them and you give them something in their hand to use. You get better at it. So I know you're probably looking at this painting and saying, oh my God, I couldn't do that. You can. I'm here to tell you you can. Just get you some brushes. Walmart, Target, Five Below, Myers. You can find them anywhere. You can look around the house. Someone probably have some in the garage, somewhere storage. Get some paints, house paint, latex paint, whatever. And you find wood, cardboard, anything. And you start messing around. YouTube some things and inspire yourselves. And eventually you'll venture out and you'll want to start doing your own thing. I'm interested to see some of your children's work, or teenagers, or young adults, whoever watching. I would like to see your work, your art. I would like you to send it to my website. On Facebook, I have an official page on there, or you can send it to an email that will be detailed at the end of the show. So please don't be shy. Sometimes you have to step back from your art to see what you've done, especially when you're doing it on such a small canvas. I usually work with very large canvases, like 92 inch by 76 inches or a huge square. So I don't really have to step away from it because I'm like right on it. And then once I step back, I see what I've done. When you're on smaller canvases like this, you want to step back sometimes. But I don't have to do that at this moment because I'm just doing fine detail. But if you feel you need to, just to see where you're at, I can just lean my head back and like, okay. Some people have to step all the way back, turn their back all the way around, and then turn back around like they never seen it before. You want to turn around as if you've never seen this painting before, but you know it's yours. So you can say, let me judge my own before I let someone else see it. So if you start getting to the point where you don't want people to see your art until it's done, that's fine. That's normal. Because it's an emotional phase. It's emotion. It's not just always a craft. It's not always about having a trade. It's about expressing yourself. If you're an abstract painter, like if you paint portraits, or certain figures, and you're taught the arts, that's another whole way of doing art. But if you're like me, urban city girl from Detroit, just like colors, just like to paint and doodle and draw all my life, I decided to start painting. It's different. You have another aspect of what art is to you. I grew up watching the DIA, going there all the time, and always said, I want to have my art in here. Why do I have to be dead for my art in here? No, you don't. You actually work hard, you can get it done. So just be inspired for yourself to keep doing things. If I would listen to everyone told me not to sell a painting, you wouldn't see me today. Let's just say that. Everyone's not going to make the best choices for you. You make the best choices for yourself, especially if you feel positive about it. And I don't think anything's negative with doing art. I really don't. Unless you're making some really weird stuff that offends people, but that's still art. People do it all the time. So if you see over this period of time, most of that titanium white is covered with this barnyard red. It's like a wash, like I said previously. More water than paint on this step. So usually when you do white or light color, you want to end it with the dark. So right now, like I said, I used that barnyard red. I'm going to tone it down. We'll mix a little black in this. And that's how I'm going to finish off my tree branches. If it looks weird to you, let it dry. Go back. It's a little bit darker than last time. See that? Okay. So these are just only the branches. Try not to touch any of the leaves. So you just, almost like you're sketching on top of it. Kind of looks like a marker a bit in this way. But remember, I use polyurethane as a layer to like seal in my paint. So I'm doing the technique that I want to do for this piece. It could be different, but it's not. This is kind of what I want it to come out looking like. Don't be discouraged if you're doing something that doesn't look the way you want it to look. You can always use more paint. I prefer not to if I'm highlighting. Another trick I just thought of too, I know how to make acrylic look like a watercolor. Very simple. It's just more water. So you know how you put your like acrylic right here, you see the body in that? See it's not moving? If I mix this with more water and more water, it'll look like water, but at the same time, it'll look like watercolors. See there? You see the consistency? It's really tight. It's a lot of pigmentation in that paint. If I dilute it with water, H2O, I can make that look like watercolor, for sure. No fancy palette, by the way. Don't go spend. Don't go to Blick and go buy a $20 palette and say, L M Coz said I have to have a palette. You don't. Just use what you have. Don't bother your mom about it. Wash some dishes and she might just go get it for you. Okay, I'm finishing this piece up. If you're interested in figuring out how I did this type of leaf, I used a round number 3 brush. Let me see if yeah, this is a number 3. It's kind of raggedy, you can't see the number 3 on there, but this is a round number 3. It would look like this. And that's how I got the stroke for the flowers. And it's just a C-shaped curve. And once you get your hand the structure where you want it to be, you'll come up with all type of different designs. Like I did it for my leaves, but I actually did the same brush with the same stroke to make these flower petals. So don't be deceived like I just sat down and used a little small piece and filled that in, because some might think that, like, how long did it take you to do this? Like maybe 30 minutes. So that's the perception. It looks like it's a hard job, but it's really not. If you have any ideas and little small tricks that you would like to help out with other artists, please share. Let me know. I would like to hear new things. I'm only 30. I can still learn new stuff. So let me know some new ideas that you guys do with your art that I don't know. I would love to hear about it. And I will do it on the show, and I will definitely let the person know and the audience know who gave me the idea to share it on the show. Or you can be on the show. Whichever one suits your fancy. We're pretty friendly around here, so we love to see you youngsters' art. I sure would. Okay, so I don't want to overwork this piece. Since I started, I added that turquoise color. I've added a little barnyard red on the branches on top of the titanium white, so it doesn't just look like, boom, white paint on you, like it's not there anymore. I toned it down to make it look more natural. If you notice, all of the branches matches the colors of the pit right here where these little dragons are. Everything must come together. You can't have a whole bunch of blue here, a whole bunch of red there, a whole bunch of green here, and something here. That's one of the values that I've learned. You have to have balance on a painting. It's very important. So you can't just have a pink flower, purple flower, blue flower, and you got yellow stuff all in the background. You have to have some pink, yellow, and blue somewhere else in the midst, even if it's in the sky or if it's the back of the tree and something's there, or water, reflection of a water, or my outfit, anything. You have to have balance in the painting. It's another tip that I've heard. So you guys see my fairy. I'm not that big on fairies, but that's just how I was feeling, because that's what artists do. Step out the box. I'm really keen on doing birds and trees a lot, but I do sometimes do different things. I don't know if that's something that you might like to do, but I just decided to make it look more fantasy-like, more majestical, I guess I should say. And I just threw a fairy in there. I think she's cute. I don't know. But I'm just about done here. I don't want to overwork the piece. Like I said, if you compare what I did when I first started, you'll see a lot of white. You won't see the blues on top of the light color yellows. Those things are important. You put the dark over the light to highlight. It's like a shadowing step. It just pops things out a lot more. Again, never use just black unless you have intent to just keep it black, like my black birds, my black creatures. And I have the black line that's going across. That's intentional. And I have, this is Mars black. That's not just like a solid black. And again, when I finish this and I put my top coat of polyurethane on top of it, this is going to be shiny and super glossy to the point where if you put it up by the sun, the reflection will be in your face. And that's what I like. I like shiny, glossy paintings now. So it depends on what you like. If that is something that you don't like, I recommend that you just try a regular varnish spray, which you can find at Michael's. You can find at Joann's. You will not find it at Menards. You will not find it at Lowe's. You might find it at Myers. You will not find it at Five Below. You will find it at Blick. So you have to really like look around. I'm just trying to give you some ideas so I can save your trip. Because I've had many trips where epic fail. So, and if you're looking for vibrant colors, I would prefer you to go to Michael's because they have the best value. Liquitex usually run around $5 for a 4-ounce. They have a brand that's like 90 cents cheaper sometimes. I usually use Academy, which is a lot more expensive only because I do gallery art. If I did not do gallery art and charge people the price that I charge them, I would not charge them that price. So you cannot charge someone $200 for, well, you can, depends on how great you are, but usually the value of the art and the products is why people raise their price up, because this is an investment. So I understand. You're going out spending $30 on paint, $20 on brushes, $20 on a canvas, and someone wants to buy $50, it's insulting, right? And you put your time into it. So I would say to write down all those things and write down how many hours that you've done on a painting. And then you can estimate out how much you think the value is worth for your painting. But that's really your decision. I just don't want you guys to go out there and say, I did this beautiful piece, I want $2,000 for it. Yeah, we would all like that. I've sold, the highest painting I've sold since I've been doing my art is $2,000, but the piece took a year and a half. It was a 72 by 72, and it was fine detail landscape with water, castles, and it was a lot of detail. So you can ask for a price like that. But just to do a piece of 16 by 20 piece, and it's just an abstract piece, and it's not a lot of detail, you can save $70, $100, $150. That's average. So I just want to teach you that and know what to expect by selling, so you won't have your feelings hurt, but you don't be a starving artist either. Like, we have to make money when you do this. So if you want to start off with small canvases, you're just doing flowers with backgrounds and shadows, and you're working at a church function or some type of youth program, and you guys having an art show, know how much your value is on your art. You don't want no one telling you how much it should be. You should know, because how much you pay for your products, your time and your hours, and you multiply all that up, and then you come up with, you round it off for what you feel is best. So those are my tips for today. I hope they were informative. I hope they were vital in some sort of way. I enjoyed explaining these things to you. I would like to thank the Better Detroit youth program, the movement here, and I hope that everyone got something from this, and I guess I'll see you guys later.